Nasal breathing for sports. Now, why would your nose breathe during physical exercise? When you breathe in and out through the nose, there's a little bit more work for the air to get into the lungs, but that's a benefit. Because if you think of athletes train to add an extra workload onto whatever muscle they want to develop. But what about your breathing muscles? Because ultimately your sense of breathlessness during physical exercise is going to be influenced by how well you breathe. How well are you using your diaphragm? What's your sensitivity to the gas carbon dioxide? What's your tolerance to that gas? We can all influence this by switching from mouth to nose breathing. And when you first switch from mouth to nose breathing during physical exercise, yes, the air hunger is a bit stronger. This is the extra load. But the more you do your physical exercise with your mouth closed, your body adapts to that. I'm not talking about sprinting with your mouth closed. I'm talking about being able to sustain nasal breathing with comfortable breathing during physical exercise. So when you're first switching from mouth to nasal breathing, you're going to feel an increased air hunger. And this is normal. Because when you breathe through your nose, you have to think that your two nostrils are smaller than the mouth. It's very easy to get air in and out of the mouth. There's resistance here, but think of all of the things that your nose is doing for sports. It's improving oxygen uptake, it's improving oxygen delivery, and even though you're breathing less air when you breathe through your nose during physical exercise, it doesn't mean that your working muscles are getting less oxygen. If that was the case, lactate would be higher post-physical exercise in nasal breathers versus mouth breathers, but it's not. And the other thing about breathing through the nose, it could be safer, especially when you're doing endurance running, endurance cycling. Because when you breathe through your nose, you've got higher carbon dioxide in your lungs, higher carbon dioxide in your blood. An increased carbon dioxide will dilate blood vessels and improve oxygen delivery to your heart. So if you're thinking about doing physical exercise and you're really working your heart as you do, how about influencing blood flow and oxygen delivery? How about helping your heart? So that organ, we need to protect it. But if you're going around with your mouth open, and let's face it, 96% of people who do physical exercise do it with an open mouth. So, coming back to it, when you transition from mouth to nasal breathing, low to moderate intensity, zone 1, zone 2, you will be able to sustain nasal breathing. If you continue breathing through your nose during exercise, give it a few weeks. Yes, your nose will run during that time. You might need to wear a nasal dilator. You'll find them on our website. They just flare your nostrils open. But then your body adapts to that. Then you can do more intense physical exercise with your mouth closed because your ability to do more with less has just occurred. We have to think, how efficient are we with the air that we consume? What can you do for a given level of breath? What can you do for the volume of air that you are taking into your body? And train your body to become more efficient. What's the benefits of that? You're not going to waste energy unnecessary. You're not going to gas out so quickly. Now, when I talk about nasal breathing during physical exercise, I also have to think about, well, how are you breathing outside of your physical exercise? And that's going to include, how are you breathing during your sleep? Never wake up with a dry mouth in the morning. MyoTape is specifically designed for just that. But the next time you're in the gym or you're doing your yoga session, breathe in and out through your nose. And continue breathing in and out through your nose. If the air hunger gets a bit too much for you, just slow down the pace. Don't switch to mouth breathing. Your mouth does nothing for breathing other than let air straight into your lungs. Continue breathing through your nose. Your ability to do physical exercise will improve.